Hi, everyone. I'm here today to take you through a wonderful little workshop that helps you pause and reflect on your achievements. We're going to do it now at the end of the year because it's a really nice time to stop and reflect on all the wonderful things that you've achieved. And we've always achieved more than we think we have. But of course, you can do this at any time if you have if you want to do it at the end of each quarter, or if you have a period where you just feel like you need to stop and kind of have a little reflection on what's happened in the last period. So this is my little gift to you. I hope you enjoy it. And yeah, let's get started. Okay. Really, the point here is to create a mindful moment for you. And you'll understand in a little while why the mindful moments are important. So a little bit about me. I'm Annabella King. If you don't know already, I'm guessing you probably do in the way that you found this webinar. I'm a senior strategy consultant and I specialize in brand and digital storytelling. And really, my specialty is uncovering brand stories that help grow businesses. I'm the founder of I Like Storytelling, which is a storytelling consulting practice, and I've 20 years experience building brand stories and marketing plans for many types of companies and brands. I've worked in Europe and North America. You probably hear from my accent that I'm originally Irish, Irish Canadian now, having lived over here in Vancouver and Salt Spring Island for over 13 years. I'm also the facilitator of the Mindful Marketing Retreats. The Mindful Marketing Retreats are marketing and wellness retreats, and they're single days and 4-day retreats where we take teams and entrepreneurs and solopreneurs away and we build marketing plans together. We build brand stories and marketing plans. So I worked with many brands in many different industries and large international and multinational companies and portfolios of brands, right down to small entrepreneurs and small business brands, and everything from business to consumer to business, and product services and experiences. You name it, I've probably covered it at this point. So I've met with many marketers and many business owners along the way and help them through their marketing challenges. One of them is goal setting, and that's part of why we're here today to go through this exercise. My specialty, and the specialty in I Like Storytelling, is to uncover brand stories that grow businesses. So uncover that one thing, that one message that's really compelling to your customers, that's something unique that you and your company and your brand can offer. And then some substantiating messages to support that. And we call that the brand storytelling strategy. But I won't go too much into that. You can find out more about that on the website at I Like Storytelling. So today we are going to cover the reflection process and the goal setting process. So the reflection is the very first step in the goal setting process. And then I'm going to walk through why we start with reflection and why that's really important. And we're going to do a little active reflection as well. So I'm going to give you some prompts along the way here to write a few things down. And I'm going to walk you through some reflection exercises. And after each exercise, you can pause the video and then write down your achievements and answers to the questions. I'm also going to help you find the hidden achievements. There are always more than you think there are. And there are achievements hidden in what may have been very challenging, very gritty situations. Businesses go through lots of highs and lows, and there's achievements hidden in all of them. And then I'm going to take you through an active reflection at the end. So just kind of check back in and see how you're feeling after the exercise. So the goal setting process. Why is goal setting important? Well, if you don't know where you're going, how are you going to get there? If you don't know you're going to New York, how are you going to book your flights and figure out your journey to get there? So it's really important to know what your North Star is, your big goals for the year, so that you can always be working on smaller tasks and actions to help you get there. Also, failure to plan is planning to fail. I mean, I'm a strategist at heart. I've always been a planner. So for me, this is very innate, but it's really important. If you're not planning, if you're not building a plan to get to somewhere, you're just not going to get there. So Goal setting is really important. There's many steps in goal setting, and the first step is reflecting on your achievements. The second step is setting your big goals for your next year. So these are the really big goals. And then you narrow those goals down and you make them SMART. So specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. Then you take those goals, if you're going to do the whole process, and you break them down into actionable tasks. And then you can take it a step further and even break down when those actions or smaller goals or objectives can happen in each quarter and even each month and even each week. It depends how granular you want to get. But it's good to have those goals for each quarter so that you can kind of keep track, so know that you're on track for the bigger goal at the end of the year. And then the last part is setting personal goals to support your business goals. This is especially important if you're an entrepreneur or a solopreneur, because you lead an integrated life. I truly don't believe in work-life balance when you're an entrepreneur, because I know myself from my own experience that my work is intertwined into my life, especially as a creative person. And if you're a leader of a business and if you have like big responsibilities within a company, you don't leave those things at the door when you walk out the door. It's a nice idea to do that for sure, but your brain and your subconscious keeps thinking about these things. So all that said, it's important to set some personal goals that can support your bigger business goals. For example, health goals, and that's physical health, emotional health, mental health, relationship goals, like what relationships do you need to work on to help you build your business goals? And that's in your personal life and in your work life. But there'll be more on that later. So today we're just going to do step one, which is the reflection process. And the reflection process is quite a meaty little step, but it has a lot of joy in itself, even without the other steps. So why is reflection important? Reflection is really important because it shifts your mind into a gratitude state. Because when you're looking at your achievements, then you're looking at all the things you have. Whereas if you started the goal setting process straight away without doing reflection, you'd be coming from a place of lack, because you're thinking about, oh, I want that thing in the future. Oh, I need to build that thing in the future. As opposed to thinking, hey, I have all of this right now, and then you're building on it. So it's a really important step to help get you into a positive mindset, and also to actually start the manifestation process. And so, once you start telling your brain and your subconscious that you want something, if it feels like you already have things, it helps you kind of build more momentum towards that bigger goal. So, reflection time. Before we start, what I would love you to do is just write down now on a piece of paper how you feel about your business achievements in this last year. Here we've got 2023, but who knows? This webinar could still be around in a couple of years and you might be writing it down. So just looking at this last year, 2023, or this last period, how do you feel on a scale of 1 to 10? Okay, put it aside, put it away, and we'll come back and have a little look at that later. So I'm a firm believer in using Post-its. You're at home, you can use whatever you like, but I'll tell you why I love using Post-its. I love using Post-its because you can put an achievement on each Post-it and you can move them around, which is great. And why that's nice is you can take some of your big achievements and you can put them into, like, your journal that you write in maybe, or you could, if you want to be reminded about an achievement, to keep that keep the positive feels going, you could like put it on your bathroom mirror, or you could put it on your fridge, or if you're having a little bit of a challenging time in business at some point, you could be like, hey, I'm going to go back and pull out some of those achievements and pop them in places that I'm going to see them and just make me feel good. It's also, you can also pack them away, and then you can take them out in a year's time when you do this exercise again. I do this exercise every year. I've been doing it for over a decade now, and I still have the Post-its from the very first one. But of course, you can write on whatever you like at home. So the process is, I'm going to walk you through 6 business areas and prompt you to think about things that you've achieved. And I'm going to help you uncover ones that you might just not know. I like to work in little mini sprints where we have like a timed exercise. Here I have 4 minutes. You might find you want more. Of course, you're on your own time, but I feel like it's good to put like a little timer on it because it makes you work faster to get them out. And often your brain comes up with the best things first. So it's good to put a little bit of pressure, on the brain to get them out. But of course, again, it's up to you. If you want to you can take 30 minutes for each one and mull it over if you like. You can even take little breaks and come back in a day. Then you might come up with other achievements along the way that don't fit with maybe the exercise we're in. That's okay. Just write them down and put them to the side. What's important with that is not to get into the squirrel mode where you're like, squirrel. So if another achievement comes up, put it down so that you've expressed it, but don't stay there. Just move on and come back to the exercise, because otherwise you'll go off in another tangent, and the brain likes to go in tangents. So we want to keep it on track. Okay, the areas we're going to reflect on are product, people, promotion, place, profit, and NGAs. I'll tell you about those later. So the first one is product. Now, it might be a service for you. You might be creating a service. You might be creating an experience. Basically, product just reflects whatever your offering is. So a couple of prompts here to think about. This past period, did you improve your offering at all? Did you do something to it to make it better? Did you provide your offering in a different way, like maybe a new delivery channel? If it's a product, maybe, trying new sales channels, and maybe putting it in different stores, maybe creating arrangements with new partners to actually sell your products. If it's a service, maybe you started providing it online versus in person. Maybe you did webinars like this one, and maybe you created an online course. Lots of different things. Like, did you provide your offering in a different way? Did you create something new this year? It might be small, might be big, but like, did you create something new that you're offering to your customers? Did you change the price or improve the value equation? And improving the value equation might have meant you put up, if you're in a service, maybe you put up your hourly rate so that it was a more fair exchange for you for your time and your service. Also to reflect inflation increases. And maybe if it's a service, it also reflects that like every year you're growing your expertise. So, you are actually providing something that's higher value year on year. You might have actually decreased your price for some reason. So did you improve the price or the value exchange? Did you launch a new product or service offering? And is there anything else? These are just some thoughts and prompts. You might come up with some more. So this is a great point to pause this video and then take as much time as you want. My suggestion is 4 minutes. We did this in a wonderful in-person workshop and 4 minutes worked out quite well. Or you take as long as you like. All right, on to the next one. So promotion, and promotion is sales, promotion. How did you promote your product? How did you get it out there in the world? How did you connect with your customers? How did you sell what you sell? So did you do anything to improve the promotion or sales of your offering? Did you, for example, update sales tools? And that might be marketing language to you. So like, for example, sales tools are like your website, social media. Did you create some case studies? Did you make business cards? Did you create new packaging for your product or your service? Because that actually, the communication there is a great sales tool. If you sell in store, did you create some new in-store communications like posters or leaflets or cards? The list is endless. So did you create anything or update anything that is a silent salesperson for you, basically, that kind of does a job of selling for you? Did you create free tasters of your service offering? So for example, in the service world, it's very much a trend now in the last few years that people give little tasters of the experience that you can have with somebody, which is exactly what this is. You're getting a little taster of what it might be like to work with me. It helps people get a little bit closer to the service provider. So also this can be in products as well. Did you create like little samples? Like a great example of that is at the recent mindful marketing retreat, 2 retreats we had 2 different skincare lines sponsor the retreats, and they gave us these tiny little jars that were like nice little sample sizes, about like 10 mils. They were quite large, but on them there was a little QR code so that people could scan it, so they could sample the product and then go onto the website. So that's a great little sales tool. Did you test new ways of attracting customers? For example, selling in a new place, using social media platforms, maybe trying ads on social, maybe changing how you did ads on social, maybe search marketing, Google ads, maybe promoting referrals from existing customers. Did you attract more of your ideal customers this year versus other years? And if not, do you know who your ideal customer is? Or did you get clearer on that? Because that in itself is a wonderful achievement. The clearer we are about who we're trying to connect with, to provide our service offering to, the easier it is to market your service offering and anything else. Okay, this is a great time to pause this and either take the 4 minutes or as much time as you would like. All right, on to the next one. The next one is people. People are crucial to business growth. You can't grow your business without great relationships with other people, whether they're your customers or your suppliers, whether they're partners or collaborators or teammates. So, there's a lot of people that connect to your business to help it happen. So, did you do any of the following to support your business growth in relation to people? Did you strengthen existing relationships? Did you build new relationships? Did you hire new team members? Did you restructure your team at all? Like make it larger or smaller, or change people's roles so that the business could become more efficient, so that it could grow more? Did you start working with a new part-time or temporary collaborator, like trial running a new relationship? Did you find creative ways to work with people? Hey, there's been challenging business times, for the last few years now. So sometimes the money isn't there to hire the people you need, but I've heard and experienced lots of people and businesses, coming up with very creative ways to work with other people, like doing partnerships or service exchanges where they're swapping services with people who are looking for their service too. So did you do that? I mean, that's a wonderful achievement in itself, like finding creative ways to do business. Did you make efforts to improve a difficult relationship? Did you have any conflicts that you resolved this year that helped you improve your business? And that may even mean letting go of a relationship, that maybe wasn't serving you in your business anymore. And anything else. This is a great time to pause the video now and take your 4 minutes, or maybe even a little bit less, and write down all of the answers to these and anything else you come up with. All right, now on to place. So did you change your work location? Did you change where your product or service is made or created? Did you adapt your current premises to improve work there, to make it more efficient, more effective? If you're remote working, like many people at the moment, did you try to work in new locations? Like, did you test out a co-working space? Did you try working in some different locations, like different coffee shops maybe? Did you find a routine where you could work in some other places that worked out quite well? Did you create a little co-working group? I myself this year actually got a couple of entrepreneurs together, and we meet for half a day a week, and we all just kind of work together in a nice coffee shop. And it gives us an opportunity as entrepreneurs just to kind of be with other entrepreneurs and work. And anything else related to place. There's a great time now to pause this and take a few minutes. I find this one's a little bit shorter than the others, so you could maybe try 3 minutes. And now we are on to process. So process, I joke, this is how we make the sausage. Like, how do you make the thing that you offer, whether it's a product, a service, experience? Did you refine the production process at all? Did you evolve the production process? Did you put some new systems in place or procedures in place that could improve the process? Did you start using some new tools, platforms, machinery, to improve the creation process? Did you improve how you worked? Did you help others improve how they worked internally or externally? And is there anything else? It's a great time to pause and take your 4 minutes, or as long as you like. And now we're on to profit, and profit kind of encapsulates money, but in this, I like to walk through the kind of profit and revenue piece. So the easy questions here are, did the money go up? Did revenue increase? Did profit increase? This is an easy thing to answer. It's an easy thing to answer, and it's worth noting that it's tangible. Like, you know the answers to that. And this, I'll be fair, this has been a tough thing for a lot of businesses to do in these last few years. So also recognizing that these are harder economic times right now. So have a think first about the upswing. So we'll just pause for a moment or two here, and then you can write down a few things. Feel free to pause the video. Now, this is getting into the grittier side of profit. So did your profit or your revenue decrease this year? And this happens with a lot of businesses. There's many reasons it can happen. If you're a startup and you're in your first couple of years, I mean, you can, if you're in the first few years of any business, sometimes you don't return a profit for many years. But also sometimes there's hidden achievements in decreased profit. So, did external circumstances affect your profit? And did you manage to keep the boat floating despite external challenges? And I mean the economy, I mean, dropping consumer demand. If you did, and you kept the boat floating, then you get the Entrepreneur Riding the Wave Achievement Award, because you made it through. And sometimes treading water is what needs to happen to get through the difficult times in a business, so that you're ready for the upswing when it comes. Second part is, did you invest in your business? So, use some of the profit that came in to actually invest in things for the longer term. So that's a short-term loss for a long-term gain profit. So that is a fine achievement. Did you scale back your product or service offering so that you could work better in your so that you could work better and you could produce what you're producing in a more efficient, more effective way? But it just maybe has affected your profits in the short term. This is a business building achievement. Did you take a risk and try something new that may or may not have worked out? If it didn't work out, it's an innovation achievement for sure. And the companies that are the most successful are the ones that have innovated a lot. And what I mean by that is they've tried stuff over and over again and failed. And I can give you a million examples of companies that have done that. Walt Disney, Einstein had many failures before he had a success. There's a very, very long list of companies and people who are very successful global entrepreneurs now, but who went through a lot of innovation and a lot of failure to actually hit on the thing that worked. So recognize that, because it plays a role in you learning and growing and building your business to the next part. So take a pause now and reflect on, if there was decreased profits, were there any hidden achievements in those? Okay, now we're into the nitty-gritty growth achievements. These are the NGAs that I alluded to in the very beginning. So there's a lot of things that happen in business, a lot, on this wonderful business roller coaster that we ride, that don't look positive on the outside. So unmet expectations, things not turning out the way you thought, regardless of all of the work and effort that you and your team put into it, you personally. Lessons learned, mistakes, missteps, fails, little fails, epic fails, and everything in between. They all played a role in bringing you to where you are right now at this moment, and your business to where it is. Every lesson learned helps you move forward. And know that if you're here doing this exercise, it means that you are a reflective person and you want to grow, because when you reflect on these things, it helps you it helps you personally move forward, and you can bring that growth into your business too. And know that no growth happens in the comfort zone. Just comfort happens in the comfort zone. All the growth comes in the really challenging place outside, the place with all the, you know, uncertainty and all the scarcity fears and all the like fear of failure. That's where all the success happens, you know, trying new things. And also like just know that anytime you risk big, you risk losing big as well, you know, but you can win big, you know, like, but the important thing is that you're willing to take risks. I had some epic fails this year. Epic. It took me a while to, like, you know, lick my wounds and brush them off and get up again. But I'm here talking to you about them, and I'm proud to say that they happened, even though they were not pleasant. So if you were with me in those epic fails, then you're going to enjoy this exercise. I do want to say before we get into this exercise that we should acknowledge the external forces. There are many things happening, many macro things happening that are outside of all of our our control as business owners, operators, and business leaders. You know, there's a lot of things happening since, you know, the pandemic, rising prices of everything. I can go through all of them if you like, but I think we all know. And those things affect so many things in business. Even fuel prices affect like everything gets transported, you know, and all of these things just like trickle down and impact us everywhere. Economic downturns and looming fears of recession. We're here in Canada. You might be somewhere else where it was classed, you know, you're in a situation where it's the economy has been classed as in a recession. Either way, it's the fear of these things that decreases consumer spending. So the impact happens regardless. We're here in December 2023. You might be watching this at another time, but this is the first full calendar year after the pandemic. And we are still experiencing all the fun recalibrating, both personally and professionally, you know, so the world is recalibrating right now. So there's a lot of things going on. So let's find the achievements in the nitty-gritty growth opportunities. The first one is celebrating your risk taking. So did you take a chance and risk something? Even if it didn't deliver what you expected, note the risk and what your intention was. Like, what were you trying to do? And just note if it moved you forward in the business or how it can in the future. Like if you have a big learning from it. Lessons learned. What lessons did you learn that can help you grow your business? Even if it's not what not to do, which normally is what a lot of the lessons are, you know, in the future, maybe a lesson learned now is saving you from a much bigger risk or bigger impact later on. Personal growth. Did you grow as a result of facing challenges, adversity, results that didn't meet your expectations? Did you grow? Did you grow in how you handled that? And if you don't feel like that now, right now, you have an opportunity to grow by doing this exercise. And also, finally, you made it. We all made it. We're all here. You know, we got through the year. There'll be another one coming, and you know, this next year is it's going to be one of the best ones. Okay, so let's stop here, pause here, and write down as many of these as you can. And this one you might want to take a little bit more time for. Okay, finally, the last one is there anything else? Is there anything else we haven't covered? Have you gathered up a couple of post-its along the way of a few ideas that have come up? Is there more? Just think about, is there anything else that you achieved that you think is important or noteworthy? So take a few minutes now to do that. Okay, now I would love you to come back to your reflection exercise. How do you feel about your achievements in 2023 now? And you might be looking back at a different year, or you might be looking back at a different quarter, different period, but how do you feel now versus the beginning? I'm going to bet all the money I have in my bank account that you have a higher number now. I know I did, for sure. I know when I did this in person, people went from like a 5 to a 9 and a 6 to a 10. And maybe you had an increase in 1, or maybe it stayed the same, but you sure as hell isn't going to have gone down after figuring out all of your achievements. So just it's just a nice thing to note that when you do these exercises, it helps you just shift into a wonderful positive mind frame. And I really hope that this helps you moving on to the next phase, like looking into your next period, your next year, just with that sense of achievement and everything that you have achieved. So now we have our achievements noted for this year, 2023. You might be doing a different period. So what's next? You've got the other 5 steps to do. They're all here. You've got this video. You can go through them yourself and have a go at it. You set your big goals for the next year. You make them smart, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. You break those big goals down into smaller goals. And then you make them into actionable tasks, like basically a to-do list. And then you map them over a year. So just make a big calendar, stick it on the wall and start. That's why I like Post-its, because you can move the little tasks around. And then set some personal goals, like what do you need to do for you, for your body, for your heart, for your mind? Like, how do you need to help you grow so that you can support yourself and your business goals? So you can do this yourselves right now. And I hope that this can really help you in that exercise. But if you'd like a little bit more, there is going to be a goal setting retreat on Salt Spring Island in January 2024. It's just going to be a 1-day retreat. It's going to be like 10 a.m. to probably 2 or 3 p.m. We'll do some movement exercises. It might be yoga. It might be some like moving, stretching exercises. And then we'll do some visualization exercises for what we want to achieve. And we'll do 2 or 3 short workshops to go through that goal setting process. And then you walk away with the plan. You walk away with your 12-month plan of all your big goals and what you want to do each quarter, each month to get there. And then I'm trying to figure out whether we're going to do it on the 2nd week or the 3rd week, or whether it's a Friday or a Saturday. There's a couple of dates there. If you're interested, reach out to me. And also, if you are like, if Salt Spring Island is definitely somewhere far too far for you to get to, no problem, reach out to me. I will do another webinar for it as well. So thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I hope that some good feels have been created on your side. They certainly have on mine, just thinking about the people who could be watching this and who could be like using this process to just bring the joy up a little bit and feel good about everything that's been accomplished. So yeah, good luck in your goal setting, whether you do it yourself or whether you want to connect with me and do it in the future.